Hey, how's it going? I'm almost ready. I just need to get a bottle of water before I do this, because I have to talk a lot. No, just kidding, I have a bottle of water already. So, the first step to this game is turning the music off. So we're gonna be playing in the silence of space. And that's how we like it. That's the first step to saving time in this game is actually turning off the music. Every time you collect a pickup in this game, be it a health or power-up pickup, it has a jingle. If the music is turned off, that jingle is disabled. I'll go into, yeah, I know. I luckily, saw Jay Buzzy be, on I think it was a Games Done quick run, and he mentioned that, I believe, so I really thought it was really awesome. So I'm going to go into the game and hopefully show the jingle just for documentation purposes. This is actually not the best place to do this, actually. So I'm actually just going to start a new game with music on. That'll be the easiest way. I'm going to do another more advanced section of tutorials. And I'm going to do that on my computer with controls being shown. Most of this stuff doesn't matter. So this is just going to showcase the general route to get through the game, explanation on how to do the bosses properly, hopefully a proper demonstration on how to do each room flawlessly, and a few other notes here and there. I'm going to try to spend a good amount of time on rocket clips, because that's hard for some people to learn. Alright, so the first thing you got is you're going to be flying around in a spaceship. If you are... excuse me. If you are coming from the dialogue and it's having you do your system checks, when you hit X for the second check, you can actually let go and then immediately hold it, and as soon as the game is ready, it will push you forward. But I believe you're looking to the left when you start. So what you're going to do is you just turn and try to go straight up towards the planet. You can also go slightly to the left of the planet in preparation for leaving the first planet and going to the second planet. It's all personal preference, and if you lose a little time lining up for the second planet, that's just gonna kind of affect your splits. It's not gonna affect your overall time. So as long as you take the most direct path without making too many alterations, you can get through the navigation part of this game pretty quickly. We're not going to ever go to the blue planet. The blue planet is too hard, and it has power-ups we don't need. So, we'll just go to the game. So, I'm playing with music for the first bit until I get the power-up, and then I'm going to turn it off so that we don't have to hear the power-up anymore. This game is controlled by global cycles that are controlled once you enter a room. Actually, I'm gonna turn the music off for a little bit just so that I can talk a little more clearly. I'll turn it on before getting the pickup. Like I was saying, the game is based on global cycles that begin as soon as you enter a room. A room is considered any place that is at the end of a portal or through a door. So as soon as I enter a room, everything starts moving, and it's not gonna wait. And like, this is the door. So as soon as I walk through this door, if this wasn't a boss, it would begin a global cycle. Once you have memorized the actions of all the enemies on the screen, you'll be able to form a pattern with these cycles and be able to essentially flawlessly walk through these rooms without fear of any RNG. There's basically no RNG in the game except for the second boss. I guess the bosses all have a little RNG, but the only real RNG threat for time loss in the game is gonna be the second boss, especially once you are a little more comfortable with the second to last boss. So let's go into here and we'll save. This tutorial is going to assume that you've played the game casually and you understand the basic mechanics, jumping and shooting and how the power-ups work, knowing how to read the maps, adding in the powers and whatnot. For the speedrun purposes, we're only going to collect 4 power-up pickups, and those 4 are all going into power. Yeah, thank goodness, yeah, RNG is early on. And that RNG sucks because every time he does the move where he jumps into the background and shoots spores or rocks or whatever you want to call it forward, it, I believe, takes between 5 to 8 seconds. And during a race, it's happened to me up to 5 times, actually, which is horrible. That's like a 40-second time loss. In the second to last boss, the rocket boss, if you are not comfortable with the quick strat, you will also deal with RNG there, but I will go over that once I get to that point. So this first room is going to be, yes, they feel like forever, and you have to try to position yourself so that you don't get hurt too. So this first room can be a hurdle for some people. Basically what's going to happen is I'm going to load into the other screen, walk forward a little bit, and jump over the first gap, and then I'm going to jump over the second gap, jump up the stairs, and I'm waiting for the flying enemy that's moving horizontally to get to the left, and for the enemy just after that who's coming up, who moves vertically up and down, I'm waiting for him to quickly move up, and as soon as he moves up, I need to be on the move, and I'm gonna try to climb up these stairs without having to wait on the cycles on the 3 preceding horizontal moving enemies. So I'll kind of explain that as I'm going through. Alright, so moving forward, jump over the first gap and then the second one. You're going to jump up these stairs, you're going to wait a little bit for that guy to move forward. Once that guy moves up, you're going to... Oh, see, I kind of messed that up, so we'll just jump down here and we'll redo. If you take any damage, saving right here will heal you. So I recommend just doing this room over and over and over again until you don't take damage, until you don't mess it up. So, bumping into the walls here is fine, but once you get to this part, you're going to want to start doing some more clean jumps. You're only going to want to jump to the direction as much as necessary, and as soon as you can, you're going to want to start turning the other direction so you can quickly make those jumps. It's really quick, and you know how well you did based on this enemy's position. If you can shoot a bullet and it goes just past him as he's moving up, that's the fastest cycle that you can possibly get. That usually makes it so that when you come into this room, if you do everything correctly in this fight and you don't miss any, or if you miss only a couple shots, you're likely to finish the boss at a 1 minute and 52 second pace. So if you take damage coming up here, you can stand right here and just shoot up. Oops. Try to actually shoot up when it's above you. And I think you can store up to like 4 or 5 of these to fully heal. This will come in handy later on if you take any damage. So, I guess I'll just jump into the bosses. The first thing you want to do when you go into the boss is already be holding that shot button and go into the center. The reason you want to go into the center is because if the boss shoots those shots at you, like you just did, you can just duck. The center is easy to find based on, you'll understand where it is. So for this one, there's like a bubble on the ground right here, and that's usually my marker. So I'm actually going to die so that I don't kill him, because I want to explain the boss fights a little bit more. But as long as you stand basically on that bubble, or just around the center, you're going to be able to duck underneath of his shots consistently every time. So the best strategy for each of the bosses moves are to, and you really want to stress this, you have to be aggressive. For when he is running to the side, you're gonna want to keep shooting and try to do a really low jump while shooting down, so that all of your shots will keep hitting him. You'll shoot to the direction he's coming from, and then once he is almost to you, you're going to jump over him and shoot down so that the shot is going down. And as you're landing, you're going to turn to the direction he's going, and you're going to want to be falling so that even that top bullet is going to hit the boss. Once you do it a few times, it's a bit easier than it sounds. For when he jumps, just run up as close as possible. As soon as he jumps, aim up. Don't move over yet. Just turn to the direction he's going and start shooting. He will land on the furthest bullet. Then you'll move back over to the center place so you can duck and whatnot. If he shoots bullets, of course, duck. Once you see that he is below half health and he is ending whatever animation for attack that he is doing, that is when you're going to want to anticipate him jumping into the background. And when you do that, you're going to run from the middle and you're going to get as close to him as possible while jumping, because you want to hit him while he's moving up into the background. And he'll go into the background and he'll heal. I usually will run to the right side of the screen while he's healing, and then as he's jumping back into the screen, I'm going to jump to meet his falling velocity, and I'm going to shoot in anticipation of him falling so that my first shot hits him just barely before passing him, so that my second shot hits fast, and I'm going to fall with him and then continue my assault. So let me try to just showcase that. So go into the center. Alright, so I jumped a little bit high there for the dash. That's fine. I only missed one shot. Missing one shot's fine. I didn't aim up, but I got to the left fast enough. I didn't anticipate his jump because I was talking. Alright, so 5. So that's pretty good. I probably could have done it a little bit faster, but that's okay. Move forward, aim up. Alright, so I don't want to kill him just yet. I'm gonna show off one more time. Oops. I thought he was gonna jump into the background. See, even I make mistakes still, and I've probably played this game 1,000 times. Alright, so I jumped a little high there. So you kind of understand that boss. That's the easiest one. The more you can practice him, the easier the rest of the bosses are going to be. You want to kind of jump and collect the power-up, which I should have turned the jingle on. I'll do that in a second. You should have collected the power-up, jump right before it appears so that the top of your head touches the power-up, so that you jump as low as possible so that when you hit X you fall. I'll turn on music now to show off the jingle. After exiting that room, you're just going to dive into the water and just kind of proceed through this room. Alright, so that was that long-ass jingle. I think if you turn off music, it saves in total somewhere between 20 and 30 seconds. Not a huge time, but when you're trying to go for sub 16 minutes, it matters. So what we did there was we just went along the natural route and jumped out of the water at an angle, and at that little cliff part right before the portal, right here, you can just walk. Some people jump. I don't think I do not think it matters. I don't think it's that any time save jumping like that as opposed to just walking and just tapping up as soon as possible. Alright, so the first planet's done. That's pretty simple. So let's go to the second planet. The second planet, or any point basically from now until the second boss, we can only take 1 point of unintentional damage, because we're going to be damage boosting through 2 enemies prior to the boss. There is, I believe, at least 1 available health upgrade, or not upgrade, but 1 healing item, and I'll show you where that is. But if you're trying to go fast, you're not going to go for that item, so you have to really understand these cycles. As soon as you load, or as soon as you portal through the ship going into the second planet, you need to be holding left. If you're holding left, this is automatically going to put you on time for the cycle to skip this first enemy's bullets. And I'm kind of just going to explain this room as I go through it, because there's not a lot of variation. You can go up the left side or the right side, but basically you're just going to be traveling on the opposite side of, or not when the enemies that are moving horizontal are around you. But it's pretty standard. I'll show you my route, which is a pretty safe route. There's only a couple people who I think don't take this exact route. So as soon as I load it, remember, I'm holding left. So that puts you right after that bullet. So you're going to drop down, go into the sub, wait for that bullet. You're going to go after that bullet and go over to the left wall. If you want, you can shoot 4 times and kill the wall guy, but he'll go up. It doesn't matter. So here's our first shell skip, or... yeah, I'm going to go with shell skip just for ease of purpose. So this skip is super easy. The biggest and most important thing to note is to avoid his bullets. His bullets do 2 HP every time, and that will end your run. So what you want to do is you want to get close enough to him, jump up, and try to touch the top of his shell, and that will hurt you and knock you back to the right. As soon as you have the availability to move back to the left, just keep holding left when you're taking this damage. You're going to jump again and try to jump over it. Just try to touch the top of the shell again. That's the cue, or the point that I always go for, is I'm always just trying to touch the top of the shell. So here, I'll just show you that. So it's pretty simple. Jump here at those rectangles, both of those rectangles. When coming down here, you want to jump and tap against that wall. That gives you a clear fall down there. And then shoot twice to kill that enemy and walk through here. So this next room, rather than worrying about explaining it too much. I'm just going to explain what I need to, and just execute this perfectly, because in this room, there's no alterations that you can do to expedite this. This room is set with a huge number of global cycles, and as soon as you enter this room, it's all a race to get underneath of a certain enemy moving vertically towards the end of the room. So I'll kind of explain this as I go through. Immediately drop into the water. You're fine. You're not going to get shot. Hug that right wall. You're going to go and hug the left wall after that horizontal guy's done. Try not to bump any of those walls there or hit the enemies. Move just past the wall so that you don't hit that guy. Tap that wall there, and then move diagonal down. See, I was a little bit slow there, so I took some damage. If I didn't take damage, I would have gotten through there clean. So right here is the first backup health. I don't know where any others are besides that. I will splice a video of this room perfectly done in my video when I edit this video later on. Alright, so going into the next room, we have our second shell skip. There are two ways you can handle approaching the shell. There's the cautious way, and then there's the fast way. This is the cautious way. Oops. Wait until a bullet's gone by, jump up, jump and get close enough that he can be skipped through. That's the slow way. So this is going to be the way that you're going to want to practice this. You're going to want to jump early, basically as soon as you can. Clean jumps, really fast. Those jumps have to be really clean and really quickly done as soon as you land, basically. Oops. Did not want to do that. Basically, if you can do that, it usually allows you to fall down this left side here, clean. And also, if you do that quickly, you'll even be able to beat the cycle of this guy and get through this area without taking any damage. Is this health? No. Okay. Alright, so this next room's got pretty tight cycles. Just follow what I'm doing and you'll get through. That first initial jump is kind of a pain. But if you can just kind of go with it, it's not too bad. It's a little hairy when you don't have a lot of health, but other than that, it's not too bad. So, this boss is the bane of my existence because it is the only source of RNG that is unable to be manipulated. We can't take advantage of anything. We just have to hope that it doesn't jump in the background and do spores. Other than spores, this boss is the exact same boss. Just jump into the back. It's going to jump into the background at half health. It's also going to try to jump into the background to drop spores on you. If it drops spores, you're going to stand at a certain spot on the right-hand side, and then wait for him to jump up into the foreground and match us falling. As soon as he falls, he's always going to charge towards you. You're going to jump around him, try to get back into the center of the spot, and just keep shooting him. I'm sure he's going to do spores, so you'll be able to see. Here we go. Let's see. Of course, move to the center. Ooh, that was a little bit to the right, or a little bit too far to the left, actually. I definitely thought I was going to get hit. Alright, so he did spores, so I'm going to move over here onto this line between these two blocks and hope that no spores hit me. Alright, he's going to jump in the background. Alright, so I didn't get the jump shot, but that's okay. He took a lot of damage. That was a really, really good jump shot. I hit him early. It's not very clean. Alright, so he did a spore again. Alright, so we did another spore. Yeah, so that was pretty bad. He did 3 spores. You could see the time loss very easily. So, upon beating that boss, we get the coolest ability in the game, which is plane shift. Plane shift allows you to go into the background. This is pretty awesome, actually. It's a pretty neat mechanic, but like I said, I expect you've already played this game casually, so you already understand the mechanics. This next room's got a weird tight cycle. The most important part is I'm going to be jumping over the first guy moving vertically, and then jumping off of the platform that he's on, and landing before the first horizontal enemy, just for a second, and then falling off the ledge, in order to kind of line up all the cycles so I can cleanly move and just fall down and move to the right easily and not take any damage. So hopefully this will go clean. Oops, that's actually fine. I landed on that platform instead. So I kind of just fell down here. So I'm going to jump into the background here, jump up, and I'm going to jump and kind of... I was trying to stay like right there in between the second and third shot from him, but I got hit. I was a little slow. Here, just kind of jump once, jump twice, and jump into the background as you're falling. For the menuing, you're going to want to press X right, X circle, like that. Here, you have to worry about landing into that. You want to land in that corridor, but you don't want to land at the same time that the bullet's happening. So if you see a bullet falling, try to line up around here and go into the background, and then come back to the foreground, and then wait and come up here and jump through this guy. Once again, if you need health, it's there, but if you used it once before, it's not going to be there again. But you don't need health here at this point because you're about to pick up your first health pickup. Just hold diagonal right and down. As soon as you go into that room, drop down into the water. You don't even have to kill that enemy I killed. He moves up. You can just hold right, go into the background and collect the health piece and move up. If you did it at the right timing, this enemy is going to be moving to the right. You want to kind of move in between those enemies like that, and the cycles will match up. As soon as you come into this room, shoot twice. You're going to want to cleanly go up these. You don't want to do a bunch of extra unnecessary jumps. Oh, I almost took damage from that. So there's going to be a spot you're going to want to jump to kind of line up where you plane shift into the background. So I'll kind of show you where that is. So if you go there and always jump on that block, I was gonna say always jump on that block, but about here is when you can jump to land on this. You want to land on that, because if you can jump and land on this, you can jump and phase right into the background. So it's kind of like, oops, it's fine. I'm about to be on the ship where I can heal, and also there's another place where you can heal. As long as I had that 1 health to take the damage boost to get through. So on your return trip through here, I actually recommend you just kind of take it slow. Keep shooting, because you want to try to hit those horizontal moving enemies, just in case if they're underneath of you, because it makes it a little bit easier. So if you're new to running this game, I recommend, if you take damage, save here, because this next part's gonna have a kind of tricky cycle. You can also just save once you get back to planet 1. But once you have this cycled, once you have the cycle down, it's not that bad. You're just going to want to, as soon as you get off of this portal, or once you activate the portal, you're going to want to hold left again and take a step maybe, just a little bit of movement to the left, so you can make that clean jump onto the platform up above to the left. And if you can do that without taking too much time and get into the water, you can cleanly make a cycle just by going through the natural route towards the next power-up. So I'll just show you what that looks like. So cleanly jump up into there, go into the water as soon as possible, and then you have no issues just grabbing that gun. Make sure to kill this enemy, shoot him once while going down, and then shoot him again after you're on the bottom. So right here you got a health backup. You need to take 2 damage boosts, so you need to make sure you have at least 3 health. You can be missing 1 health going to this next boss. Alright, so here you want to jump twice. On the second jump you're going to land, jump twice again. It's a pretty simple damage boost actually. For this next room, you're going to jump and then immediately press the shot button. What I do is I put my thumb, the lower part of my thumb, down, and I tap the shot button with the higher part of my thumb. Kind of just naturally progressing into here. Shoot that one there if you can, just to make your life a little bit easier. And you want to try to send a shot how I just did. Right before you land, you want to send that shot because it's going to be a little bit above how tall the player is, and that's going to be where the health is. And if you have full health going before the damage boost section, then you shoot the first health little orb thing there as you're falling down, and you collect that. You can run right into the boss, only missing 1 health, and you won't have an issue. Alright, so I have to explain how bosses work now that we have plane shift. Anytime a boss goes in the background to do spores or to heal, we're going to jump into the background and we're going to keep harassing that boss. Each boss has a certain threshold of damage that it can take or needs to take in order to proceed through cycles of the boss. So for this next boss, if I shoot it 7 times, he's going to grow a shield around himself and shoot bullets, and if I go in the background, he's going to shoot spores in the background. I don't want to do that. So for this boss, you're going to want to shoot this boss exactly 6 times. You have to make sure to count that, all 6 shots. It can't be 5 shots, it has to be 6 shots. And as soon as the 6th shot hits, or if it's on its way, you know it's going to hit, you need to jump into the background towards the center of the screen and start shooting upwards. And once the boss jumps to the background and starts falling down, and you feel like enough bullets are aiming up at it that you can move to one direction, move over to a direction so that the boss does not land on you. Look at the boss, shoot it a few times, and then aim up again. This is when the boss is going to start smashing down on you. Just keep aiming up and holding down the shot button until you have 1 health left. And when you have 1 health left and your invincibility frames are done, and he's about to land on you, warp back to the foreground. The boss will warp to the foreground, and because he will have over 50% of his health gone, he's going to want to jump into the background and heal again. So the process will look like him smashing down on you. You come back to the foreground. He comes to the foreground. When he's coming to the foreground, once again, you need to jump up and fall down at the same time with him shooting him. He's going to immediately jump up into the background and try to heal. So you want to jump into the background and fall down with him shooting him, and then you're going to want to keep shooting him while he heals, and then when he's right about to fall on you, come back to the foreground, he'll jump to the foreground, and hopefully you've done enough damage that he'll want to jump to the background again. And at this point, his health is probably pretty low, and you're just going to finish him off by doing this loop. If you can't do enough damage, and he comes back to the foreground another time, he's going to phase shift, and you're basically going to lose the fight, or it's going to be a really long fight. So, I guess I'll just show how it works. Remember, you need at least 4 health. You can have 5 health if you want. It makes the fight just a little bit easier. Actually, here I'm gonna go into it with 4 health. So yeah, remember 6 shots. 4, 5, 6. Hey Rip, how's it going? Oops, I was looking at the chat and I was not paying attention to the tutorial. Alright, let's try this again. Alright, so you have at least 4 health. You can have 5 if you want. Alright, so go in, you gotta shoot him 6 times. 6 shots. Aim up and shoot him. Alright, so he's gonna smash on you. Alright. That's it. So, like I said, go in and do 6 shots, and then jump into the background, aim up and shoot, and then after he's falling down and you see enough shots are going into him, move to a direction and look at him, and you want to shoot a couple times into him and then aim up and damage boost. When you hit 1 health, you're going to have enough iframes to, I believe, shoot him twice, and then that 3rd shot that's going to come out, you're going to want to go back into the foreground after. And then when you're going into the background and foreground, after he heals, if you can shoot him the entire time he's healing and then aim up and get at least 1 shot in him when he's falling down on you, that'll prepare you for being able to do the quick kill on the next boss. You have to be able to learn how to get aggressive with these bosses, with jumping into the background, following him when they're falling, and getting that trajectory right. So yeah, just practice that boss a few times. It's there's no RNG to the boss, basically. The only RNG that you will experience that will matter is if as soon as you walk in here, the boss uses spores. That's God RNG. If you get that, you should be very happy. If that happens, as soon as he jumps to the background, follow him back here, shoot while he's coming down here, shoot while he's doing the spores. As soon as he stops doing the spores, aim up and you're in a damage boost until you have 1 health left, and finish the fight the rest of the way, and it's going to take about 15 to 20 seconds less time. That's basically what you're hoping for in the beginners with the next boss, is you're hoping that he goes back and does the spores. But now we have the new pickup, run. Run is toggleable, so you can run for a little bit, or you can run for a lot of it. As soon as you enter the next room, run. You're gonna stop running and aim down. Sometimes you're gonna take a damage, it doesn't matter. This room's got some tight cycles. Jump and come back, aim to the left and shoot. Duck underneath of that guy. You might have to duck underneath of this enemy too. Don't let his bullets touch you. They do 2 damage. Now that you have the run, you immediately run back over this. Stop running. You need to stop running here. Don't jump and then stop running. Stop running and then jump, and you'll be able to jump into here. Sometimes you might get stuck in the ground. Oops. Like that. Just move to the left or jump up. Once you get above this pillar to the right of the foreground, just come to the foreground and you can fall over. I run a little bit here just to fall into the water and dive. You're gonna come up and grab this is gonna be the last health upgrade for the game. Run into the ship, run to the controls, every chance that you're moving, you're running now. Alright, so if you've played this game casually, you have probably come to the red planet, and you've probably dealt with this rock. This rock enemy shoots... Actually, I'll just show him off. This rock guy... It's funny. He is a pain in the ass, but he is super cool. He's probably one of my favorite sprites I've seen in a old school video game. If you get hit by his beam, you take 3 damage. If you touch his body, you take 3 damage. You basically don't want that. So, the way to perfectly time this cycle is portal from your ship. As soon as you portal from your ship, hold right. As soon as your feet touch the ground off of the portal, you have to tap your sprint to run. And then when you get close to the rock, just tap down to duck underneath of them, and you should slide underneath of them. It's pretty consistent. So just hold right, tap run, and slide under. Otherwise, you have to shoot him a lot. For the next room, just tap run, go underneath of that slime, jump a little bit, and then jump into the background. You'll get the hang of that room. It's pretty simple. For this next room, go under the water, hug the right wall, and aim down. You should kill all of these horizontal moving enemies. Once you get to this last black dot, I move to the left. If you have enough vertical momentum, you can jump up. I was actually stuck in the ground, so I moved over. Here we're going to do a little sequence break. So what you're going to do is you're going to run to the right. And just before you can't run, you're going to run to the left. And just before you can't run anymore, you're going to jump, and you're going to plane shift to the foreground, all the while avoiding the slime enemy, or killing the slime enemy if you have to, and avoiding the 2 vertical enemies afterwards. So I'm just going to kill him to make that a little bit easier. So I'm going to run to the left, jump, and plane shift like that. Here I'm also going to do another one. This one's a bit easier. You just go in and then go out. Oops. You're supposed to jump there. I did not do that. Now the cycles are going to be all messed up, so that thing is... Normally you could just jump over that one and get into the right position, but those rooms are pretty easy. If you watch any of the world record runs to see the best route, you'll see that it's all basically the same. All of the runs, it's pretty standard. So I'm going to show you the 2 methods to killing this next boss: the beginner method and then the expert method. If you are a beginner to running this game, dear God, do the beginner method. Just at least to get your times down, to learn the rest of the game, do the beginner method. And then once you understand this game a bit more, then go into and watch. I made another video with a tutorial on, a very in-depth tutorial on how to properly do this consistently, because those damage thresholds are so strict on this boss, that if you don't meet them, basically it's ruined. And I can't tell you how many times someone's been like, or I've been like, man, the boss keeps having 1 HP and he keeps surviving, and then he shields up. So when learning that extra one, it's gonna be hard. I think I've played the game for over a year now, competitively, and it's still tricky for me. So, the beginner method. Go into the room, walk to the center, shoot the boss 5 times, and wait for him to jump and do spores. If he jumps and once he does the spores, jump into the background, follow him, and you win. Just basically do the same thing you did with the last boss, and you're good. So I'll show you how that works. God RNG is if, 4, 5... Oh, I did 6 damage, actually. God RNG is if he jumps into the background and does spores right away. damage. I have to restart. I was not paying attention. Alright. I haven't done this in a while. Alright, that's 5. Alright, so after you shoot him 5 times, you have to just stand in the middle and wait for him to jump into the background and do this. Oops. Alright. Actually, I was going to let myself die anyway, just to show off the expert one and not kill him. But you basically understand that all you have to do is just shoot him 5 times, wait in the middle crouched, or jump over him if he runs. Do not shoot him again. You can't do 6 damage to him because you saw what happened. He slammed on the ground and went to the background, and the foreground filled up with lava. You have to shoot him 5 times, no more, and wait for him to jump into the background and do spores, and then you damage boost him to death. Now, for the advanced method, you're going to shoot him 5 times, jump into the background, and aim up like you did with the other one. You have to do, I believe, 4 shots of damage as he's falling down, 2 shots of damage to the side, and then start damage boosting up. And when you have 1 health left, that last shot right before he hits you has to connect before you can come forward into the foreground. And you have to do enough damage as he's coming down too to meet the first threshold. And then after that, there's 3 more thresholds that you have to worry about. A threshold in the background, and then the foreground, and then finishing him off once and for all. So I'll try to do it. I might fail actually because it's quite difficult to do still. But we gotta show off the boss. So let's see. All right, so 5 shots. Oh, that was very bad. I'm actually just, I know it's not gonna work because I didn't do enough damage. So I'm just gonna let him kill me. I was not right in the middle, so he didn't take any damage falling down. Oop. Sorry. Alright, so 5 shots. That was much better, okay. Oh, I didn't get that 1 shot, that might be bad. Ooh, see, he almost turned it, he almost put the shield around him, so that was very close. I definitely could not have waited any longer. But basically, like I said, just shoot him 5 times and wait in the middle for him to jump and do the spores if you're new and you're trying to get through the boss. Yeah, it's going to add a little RNG to your run, but the first goal of getting, I would say, like sub 20 minutes or sub 18 minutes, that's totally doable, even if he takes 20 or 30 seconds to go into the background. Now my favorite part of the tutorial, rocket clip. So from that boss, we got this wonderful power-up called Rocket, where we turn into a rocket. If our body is touching the ceiling and also touching a side wall, and we initiate a rocket, we can actually get pushed up and over into the wall. This initiates rocket clip. If I've tapped left, I would just fall out. But I'm technically clipped inside of the right over here. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to do crouch drops, which drop me down below a level. And I'm going to do that to the point where I'm now in the ground. And you know that you're in the ground when you can move really fast to the left, but really slow to the right. And the way we move in the game quickly to the right is by trying to initiate a run while we're underground. That actually bumps us. So we hold left and then try to initiate a run, and that actually bumps us to the right. That's the fastest method of transportation to the right or left, actually. You just have to try to make sure you do it right. And so that's how we go through. And we're going to backtrack our way to the beginning of this planet. Jump over this guy here, rocket. Try to wait and initiate your dash so you can get over that slime. I'm just going to keep rocketing, try to be as safe as possible. Come back into here. If you can get them in place where you can kind of kill them all as you're going up, that's great. Try to run it all. Try to run all of the time. Here you want to hold your shot, and as soon as you pop out, just keep shooting. That allows you to kill that slime. If you don't kill the slime, he jumps, so he doesn't hurt you anyway. So we're going to go back into the room with the giant rock, and the way that we get a guaranteed cycle on the giant rock is we're going to walk until we're just about onto the lava, and then we're going to tap run, and then as soon as we get about to the rock, we're going to duck, and then we're going to drop below him and go towards the end of the game. So walk to the lava, and tap run, drop down. As you're dropping, shoot, 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 aim down and shoot. Here we're going to do another rocket clip. This one is done by rocketing up and then rocketing into the wall because you can't quite jump high enough. So what you're actually doing is 3 really quick circle taps or A taps or whatever button you have assigned. And it's like... It's like da da da. I should get out a metronome and see what that BPM is. The musician in me really wants to do that. But once you get below the surface, you just kind of go underneath of that wall and move over. You'll see the final boss, kind of rocket up here. When you're going through this room, I just walk over to this and then drop down and just aim down and shooting. And then begin running to the left, transfer through, drop down, begin running to the right. I don't jump, I just keep running. Then I jump up and go into the background, rocket up here, and then cancel the rocket and jump to the foreground. If you have trouble with that, there is health right here. And so, we're coming into the final boss. The only things that I can really recommend you try to do when doing this boss is if you can try to kill a couple of his minions that he sends out, because their bullets do 2 points of damage, and you need to damage boost through 1 point in the game. Well, you don't need to, but you're most likely going to end up taking at least 1 damage later on after killing the boss. And you don't want to die after killing the final boss before the end of the game. So yeah, I go into the boss, and I shoot him 7 times, and I jump up to go into the background, and I try to shoot up as well, and kill at least one of the enemies, and jump into the background, coaxing him to jump into the background. Once he's into the background, once he is into the background, I will jump to the foreground, once again trying to kill a couple more of the minions, forcing him to come into the foreground, and I'll wait until he charges at me to do an attack or shoots at me or something. And once he starts that animation of the attack, I'm going to jump into the background, go to the left wall, rocket clip into the wall, and go down to the point where I am below the ground, so he can't hit me, but I'm high enough, but the end of my gun is not below the ground, so my gun can still shoot up. I used to remember the number of button presses, but you'll get used to it once you do it a number of times. So I'll just kind of show this off. Alright, so I did that one a little bit late. Oh, actually he did spores, so I'm good. Alright, so I'm a little bit too low, so you can actually hit jump to go up a little bit. And you kind of want this da-da, da-da, da-da. That's the fastest shot pattern that you can have. And so you're basically just gonna go underneath of the boss and shoot up forever, because the boss won't ever change cycles until it completes its task of smashing you a little bit. Or if you go back to the foreground, that would cause him to change cycles. The game doesn't expect you to be able to survive him relentlessly smashing down on you like this. Alright, so we killed the boss by aiming up. Don't rocket clip out of here. It takes you back to the rocket boss. And you don't want to do that. So from here, you're inside the mind of the final boss or whatever. As soon as you can, you're going to turn into a rocket. Make sure to cancel your rocket early enough that you don't smash into the ceiling. You're going to dash to the right, and you're going to do a combination of like running and rockets, and making sure to cancel those so you can cleanly get through the sections to try to beat some of these vines. And then you're going to have a couple more rocket clips to do. But other than that, this part's very linear, so there's not a lot of explanation that needs to be done. Oops. For that rocket clip, that one's kind of like a da-da. It's kind of a quick one. But it's not super fast, whereas this one is like, you kind of want to roll slowly, like slide your finger from the jump button to the rocket button, so that's like, oops. There we go. Yeah, so you actually have to be pretty quick with that one, and once you're low enough, don't try to immediately knock yourself backwards to the right. You want to walk forward a little bit so that when you walk left, you don't walk out of being in it like I just did. Because I think it's like only a couple pixels big. Alright, so now that you're done with that, come down to the water. Wow, I can't believe I made that cycle. Come up, jump out, dash, dash, and shoot him. And then your time ends once you collect the warp core. So yeah, that was kind of a quick overview of Xeodrifter. Hour long, that's not too bad. I even rambled a little bit. Do you guys have any questions? Because if not, that pretty much wraps that up, since I have a more advanced tutorial on killing the rocket boss, and the rest of it's just kind of execution, watching one of the world record run, or like maybe the top 3 runs. Watch my run if you want. But once you know the route and you've practiced the bosses of yeah, I know. The game's not easy. It's It's definitely easier to speedrun than it is to casually play, in my opinion. Yes, we have another race tomorrow at noon. And this is an attempt to get more people to start racing. I will make even more in-depth tutorials if people need. I just want more people to play the game because it's like 20 minutes long once you've done a speedrun of it once or twice. Yes, I will eat races for lunch. But like, this game is so good. I can't recommend it enough. It's so hard casually though. Like, I wouldn't let how hard it is casually deter you from playing it speedrunning, because even if you're just going for like a 20-minute time, you don't have to take a lot of the risks and whatnot, and you don't have to deal with any of those like fly enemies that fly around and their bodies do 2 damage and their shots do 2 damage. You don't have to worry about getting solar flare or the phasing ability. I'm just trying to think. The RNG, like I said, is only in the second boss. Once you figure out how to do that rocket boss. But I guess I'll do a quick timed run since I'm already playing. I need to practice for tomorrow anyway. Let me get my stopwatch out. Alright. 3, 2, 1, go. I got a new personal best the other day, actually. I took 11 seconds off of my PB, so it's now a 14:41 instead of a 14:55. Or maybe it was 14 seconds. I think it was 11 seconds I took off, and it was 55, so it was like a 14:44 now, I think, or something like that. Yeah. It was the first PB I had in like 8 months in this game. Alright, so the first time, I didn't talk about this before. You only have to hit X 3 times in this. The first time is at 43 seconds. The second time is after 7 pings. And then, okay, so you have to do it 4 times for the 2 statuses. Alright, let's see if I can get this room clean. Nice. Ooh, that last step gave me trouble for a second. Oh god, I'm not getting any of my up shots. Oh, I didn't get that shot either. That was good. 14:48 boss kill. That's... My split would have been at 1 minute and 53 seconds. So that's pretty good. I only lost about a second from the world record's pace. This next boss is what sets the world record apart from me, basically. And a little bit of optimization, but he's a robot. That's why he's won most of the races. Oh, go. Yeah, he's nuts. His world record's like still 45 seconds faster than my best time. Maybe 35 seconds. That was good. I lost a second somewhere. Kind of a messy room. Oh no! I took damage. I just have to take this part a little bit more slowly. I don't want to take any more damage because I'm not going to stop for the health here. That was clean. Let's see if I can get this room too. Whatever, I'll grab 2 health. Why not? Bad. Oh, got 1 spores. And took damage. Bad. Oh, I didn't get the upshot again. That's not bad, sub 5 minutes still. There we go. Clean. I'm gonna wait a second for that. I took damage there last time. I don't want to do that again. Oh, two damage there. Current time is just passing 6 minutes. Oops. That was almost bad. Almost like a bunch of unnecessary damage. Let's see if I get this cycle. Nice. That's fine. 3 good menus. I'm happy with that. 1 menu was bad. Too high? Oh, nice, got it. I thought that was a little bit too high. Ooh, I don't know if that was enough. I'll have to get a little aggressive with this. Oh. Nice. Alright, still got the kill. That was clean. Also. Alright, so we're about to grab the last health upgrade and move on to the final planet. Oh, I definitely aimed up. Huzzah! Got rock skipping. Oh. Disagree. Double dog disagree. I think I'm good. Yeah, nice. 11 minutes and 20 seconds. Nice. That was clean too. Alright. Home stretch. So fresh and so clean. Oh no! I went too far down. It's cool. No sweat. Of course. Things are going too clean. I'm gonna get hit. So bad. 2 in a row. Nope. Oh, dick. Oh, no, I did it again. Alright, I give up. Alright. At least I got the tutorial. And I'll do it again tomorrow. Alright, I have to get off of here. Yeah. Going below... Yeah. Sometimes you soft lock. I mean, it's just sometimes like that. I guess for a bonus tutorial, I'll provide you with this awesome instructional. When you're underwater and you want to stay submarine, come to the end of the water and just button mash up. Do. You move slower than normal, and you can't go through portals, and as soon as you go through a door, you turn back to normal. But why not? Submarine percent. Any chance you can go into a submarine, you have to go into a submarine. I wish there was a way to make it so you could just permanently base submarine. That would rock my Casbar. I'm going on an adventure. I don't know, actually. I don't know if I'm going down anymore. Huh. Oh, I am. Oh no. I'll do it. Oh no! I can't go forever. I'm running in the water, guys. Yes, I've done it. Dude, that might be viable. This is also very difficult. Oh god, I died. Oh, now I'm so interested. No, actually. I don't think there's any uses though, because the only time that you have rocket and you go in the water would be at the very end of the game. Maybe is there a New Game Plus run that we can do? I don't think they have a New Game Plus mode for this. Oh god. Oh, wait, I'm a rocket. Of course I can get out. Alright, well, I think that ends my tutorial and nonsense. For sure, buddy. And like I said, if you get interested in running it and want to race, that's cool. If not, I understand. The game's kind of a pain sometimes. Cool. Thanks, Seebs. Oh, I got it. I'm so tired of button mashing. I wonder if I can dig to China. I'm pretty sure my thumb would fall off before that. Oh. Yeah. I'm definitely stuck this time. I have no idea what's happening at this point. I think I might have hit. Oh, that's where I'm at. Okay. Okay, so the darkness is something you can get inside of, but once you hit that bottom, it looks like that's the bottom of the stage. Well, that's cool. Alright, well, have a good night, everyone.